Hi, wonderful people. This is Rebecca Valera with Keller Williams, and I'm here today with
Sam Fannin, your favorite mortgage man over at Premier Nationwide Lending.
And today we're going to talk to you a little bit about just some things that you should do and things that you don't want to do whenever you're looking to get a home loan.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always like starting with the positive, going to the negative, then back to the positive. So the first and foremost, most important do is have a healthy sense of humor. The home buying process for most can be pretty stressful. The markets from a lending standpoint are heavily regulated, so just have a real fun sense of humor. On the lending side, I'll make that fun for you. Another do is make sure if you have questions to contact your loan officer. I'm available 24/7, weeknights, weekends.
And that is the truth. That
Yes,
is the truth.
that is
Today.
true. Sometimes it gets a little bit too much, but that's what I'm here for. Another do is if there's something that my team or myself is needing during the loan process, whether it's pay stubs, bank statements, just questions with your application, make sure you return that phone call and that email immediately as we try and get loan approval pretty quickly.
And that's also true on the real estate side. If you have any questions for me during the home process, make sure you ask questions and you're constantly in contact with either one of us. And if I can't answer a question, then I'm going to ask Sam about it.
Absolutely. It's a full team effort.
So what are some of the things that home buyers kind of need to not do if they're thinking about making a home purchase?
The number one thing that we see out there often, and I'm actually going to use my own mother as an example. She is a real estate agent, and oftentimes people forget to not open new credit cards. Any lines of credit, whether it's a credit card, we see autos often.
I've seen that too.
I see it from the very beginning to the very end, few days before closing. Someone has opened a card or bought a new car, and that heavily impacts your debt to income ratio and how much you qualify for. It could make or break the loan at any given time. So that is the number one don't during the process. Now, everybody's lives are different. Everybody's debt to income ratios are different. So if you're thinking about doing it, contact us first, as in myself, the loan officer, or my team.
What if someone's thinking about, making a job change, maybe switching either within their own company, or if they got promoted, or if it's, maybe they're just tired of what they're doing and they just want a change and they've found another opportunity. What would you advise them in that situation?
Absolutely. So that one could be a more in-depth conversation, but job changes are okay as long as you're staying within the same line of work and you're not switching from a W-2 salary job to 1099 self-employment, because then we're going to be required to have sometimes 1 year's tax returns, most of the time 2 years of tax returns. So make sure you're just staying in that same line of work if you are doing a job change. It will be a little bit extra documentation, but it is okay. And again, before you do it, consult your loan officer.
Okay. What about if someone wanted to co-sign for something, say that a family member, needed to buy a car and they wanted to help in that way? Is that something that someone could do?
That falls in the same line of opening credit.
Okay.
Anytime you co-sign,
Okay.
you are essentially liable for that note. So oftentimes we see parents co-signing for their kids on purchasing a home. Well, their parents now have that mortgage on their credit report, and they are tied to the title as well. So it falls into that first don't.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And if someone's, they're thinking about getting married, or, they're going to get married in a month and then they want to buy a house, how does the marital status change the loan?
So that is a
process?
good question. There's a few different ways to do it. There's a form called an AKA form that we can, start the loan in the maiden name, and then,
Okay.
We'll update the driver's license, social security card, and then we can update the loan on that end. So it's a pretty seamless transaction as far as that goes. That is falls on the don't list. Again, talk to the loan officer first, because there could be some weird little nuances that go with that.
Okay. And the last question I have for you is, if someone wanted to, I know that, transfer money, from one account, like to kids' savings account, or if they're making a lot of transfers, is that going to affect their, how they get their loan approved? And
It
not?
can. Anytime you transfer money from one account to another, we have to document the paper trail. So just make sure that you're fully prepared to show where the money came from. Cash deposits, cash transfers is a big no. Obviously can't document where that came from. So also opening up new bank accounts and transferring money from an older bank account to a new one is a little bit more documentation. So before you do any of that, just again contact the loan officer, because there may be different avenues that we can guide you through to make it a little bit less on the documentation side.
Okay, that sounds good. And I know obviously if you're purchasing a home, you want to make sure you're current on all your payments, whether it be credit card or home, let's say you had to sell your home to buy another one, your current mortgage payment, anything that you've got credit on, you want to make sure that you're making payments on, right?
Absolutely. Whether it's the mortgage process or not, I always encourage making your payments, because it can hurt anything that you're doing, whether it's you're purchasing a house and having to get a mortgage, or purchasing an auto. Even opening a credit card, late payments are never good. So I would, avoid doing that at all costs.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. Thank you, Sam, for
Yeah.
coming by today. And if you'd like your list of do's and don'ts, you can download them on my website. And I'll have Sam's information available as well if you'd like some more information about him and what he does.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rebecca. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.